Okay, so we're sitting here in Fairfield outside Starbucks. I'm sitting with Ann Trason, the legend, and she has just finished yesterday she finished 50K at Elk Lake, and I asked her if she would let me ask her a few questions, and she kindly agreed. So here we go. The only trouble is, can I read this in the lights?
Go in there.
Yeah, we should go back into the shade so I can see my questions. Otherwise, you know how it...
Jacket.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to sit here, pretty much where I was before. You want to sit in the sun?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you don't have a lot of body fat on you, Anne, I must admit.
I'm very fat these days. I've gained a lot of weight.
I was going to ask you that as a supplemental question. I mean, does your weight fluctuate a lot? Because I'm always 130.
He's talking. No, my weight, yeah, it does fluctuate if I have time to work out.
Now, first question is, do you have any siblings?
I have a brother.
Older or younger?
Younger.
Younger brother. And how old is he now?
Well, that's not true. I also have a half-sister.
Okay. How old is, are you the middle one?
No, I'm the oldest of all of them.
Wow. Okay.
Why does everyone think I'd be middle?
I don't know. I'm a middle one. I'm the middle of three. I've got an older brother and a younger brother.
Well, I had a younger brother, but he died, half-brother.
That's sad.
Yeah, it was very sad.
So was this when you were growing up?
No, I mean, I grew up with my brother John, who's 2 years younger than me. We grew up in the Monterey Peninsula, Pacific Grove. My half-siblings didn't know about me. Well, my half-brother never knew about me. And my half-sister, she's only known about me for about a little over 3.5 weeks.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Good gracious. Talking about bringing a family together.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Auburn?
Oh, no, in the peninsula. My mother was a marine biologist. We grew up in Pacific Grove near the beach.
Is that California?
Yeah, it's California, right? Monterey, Pacific Grove.
Did you ever surf?
No, but we were surfers. Our high school, we were Mighty Breakers. That's who our mascot was. I used to go to the beach because my mom was a marine biologist, and we'd just go and look at all the sea creatures. It was quite nice.
What, like urchins?
Urchins and starfish and things like that, and succulents and barnacles. She always called me her personal barnacle.
Really?
I loved her, and I was always hanging on her and wanting to go everywhere she went.
So she was a marine biologist.
Yeah, she had a PhD from UC Berkeley in 1959. She left Victoria. We can't imagine why she went down there, but she was told also to go to Stanford because they had the best marine biology there at Hopkins Marine Station. So she first got a master's in around 56 from Stanford. She had a counselor and some friends who told her that would be a good place to go. So she got on Greyhound and went down to Stanford and got a master's studying, but the marine biology places was in Pacific Grove. And then she got a PhD at Berkeley and continued to work at the Marine Biology Center. So we all moved from the Bay Area where she was getting a PhD.
I was going to say, was it the Bay Area?
Yeah, they were in the Bay Area, but then south of that, a couple hours, is the Monterey Peninsula. It's absolutely gorgeous, and that's where I grew up. I thought it was boring. There's really not a whole lot to do other than walk on the beach and look at sea creatures.
When did you first start racing? Can you remember your first race?
Oh, racing! I did a half mile, maybe.
At school?
No. I was pre-Title IX. I had to do a club. It was probably...
I don't understand what that is.
Oh, club sport. Yeah, Title IX said that... No, Title IX told the whole country that males, if you have sports, you have to have equal amount of funding for all sports, girls and boys. The girls are important, and we should have sports. Okay. So in 1972, the Supreme Court said all sports, if you want federal funding, you have to have equal funding for all sports. Now, it was 1972. It took my high school to 1978 to implement it. People fought that all along. So instead of that, a lot of places had team sports for girls. You know, like we had USATF, but then it was AAU. And you went to meets and stuff and worked out. And it was all girls.
And this, you're talking about school age, or?
Yeah, that was in I started in 1972.
I'm not very good at math. But,
1972. I was 12. I was 12.
Okay.
But I had already been running before that.
Good.
But how I got into running was my grandmother from the Czech Republic. That's where my dad was born, came and visited. And my school was a half a mile from home. And if I ran home really fast at noon, I could get lunch with Grandma, and then I'd run back, and they'd let me.
It's a bit like the Kenyan story.
Yeah, but it was a half mile, but I had to run fast. And then I'd run, my mom let me eventually run back from the beach. That was 3 miles. I can't believe it. Like 8 years old. I said, I'll meet you at home. She'd go, fine, Ann. And she'd let me go. You wouldn't do that now.
No, probably not. But I didn't get any physical activity until I was 43. That's probably why I'm still doing it now, because it's only been 25 years of running.
Oh, people say I'm a shark. Even if I'm not running, I'm always moving. This is sitting here is the most sitting I've done this morning.
Yeah, but occasionally we do have to stop and refuel.
Yeah, it's always painful for me, but yeah.
Oh, I'm beginning to feel a little more human now. I was explaining to Anne earlier on that I have been sampling my beer, and it's not really ready yet. But what with yesterday's race plans and helping out and visiting you, I never got to the store, so I started on the homebrew before it was ready. But that's just, one of those things you learn from your mistakes. But I'm not terribly sick. I have had some spinach. What was it? Spinach wrap? That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a feta thing. It's not terribly. It's like some protein, and it's not hugely calorie.
Do you reckon they use mozzarella cheese in there?
Feta.
Feta. Okay.
It has a little feta and white egg.
Yeah. Which was your best race? Can you remember? The one that you think, yes, that's the one.
Any race at States had the most pull on my heart. And the most memorable Western States was the first year because my mother was there. But probably the race that challenged me the most was my second. It was a down here with Maria Bach. You know Maria Bach, the one that got popped for steroids?
No.
Yeah, of course no one knows that.
But this was way before the steroid era.
No, it wasn't. It was during the whole time.
Really?
Oh, terrible.
I'm just a newbie.
Yeah, it was during that time. But she didn't get popped there. She got popped at the next 100K World Championship. But you could see every time I saw her, she looked a little bit more manly, but you couldn't say anything. And she'd always start talking more and more aggressively, like Barry Bonds, and I'd have to run against it and not say anything.
Yeah. What is it they call it? Roid rage?
Yeah, she definitely had roid rage. But the South Africans loved her so much that after her suspension was done, they invited her back to South Africa.
And that must have been during apartheid as well.
No, this is post-apartheid. We're talking 90s.
Really?
We couldn't run down there during apartheid.
No.
So Alberto Salazar was really the first big American in 1995. He went down there and he paved the way.
Did you ever have sponsors?
Oh yeah, Nike was great for me for 15 years. Huge stipend, everything. Lovely. I don't know why they did it. My husband was my agent, but looking back...
You must have been a shrewd guy.
Yeah, he was pretty shrewd, all right.
Talk about your dogs. You have more than one, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I have 3.
3 dogs?
So I have Zoe. Zoe was companion for Wasatch, but Wasatch is no longer with us. I found Wasatch when I was training. No, I was marking a trail for the Wasatch Mountains during the Slam in 1998. We came upon this teeny abandoned next to death dog. Anyway, she became Wasatch the Wonder Dog, and she died. She needed a companion, so I got her Zoe. Zoe now is 16. But Zoe stopped eating when Wasatch died and started not getting out of the bed, like my bed. So the vet said I needed to get another dog. So I got Hazel, and I love Hazel, but she's a challenge. She really doesn't like men much.
I've come across dogs that bark at men.
Oh,
and men with beards.
Oh, men with beards. She goes for their pants. She likes to hold in their pants. So it's quite nice. I don't have to have any cut guard. Well, I don't lock my card or anything. It's really nice. It's hard to get pizza. I have a sign at my gate that says leave packages at the gate. Thanks, Ann.
Yeah. So you don't want people coming up your driveway.
Not men.
Because the dog will start yakking away.
Oh, well, she does more than that, but she usually doesn't hurt. But then I got my most prized possession is I was doing the snowman trek in October, and I guess it'll get a little bit more popular now. It's going to be a movie. Not when Anna Frost and Ricky Gates, I think, were the players. They went there and they made a film of all things. Can't believe it. Where Sacred Territory on the snowman or North Face. I went there as a personal journey. It was a thing I had to do, so I went with a company and 13 other people I'd never met. And during that trek,
was it hard to get to the start? Did you have to get flown in or something like that?
No, we drove in. But we had to fly. No, it was just a regular start. We started up some road. It wasn't really bad. It was out of Paro. Okay. But during that trek at the end, I fell in love with a refuge place called Bhutan Animal and Rescue Center. If anyone has a lot of money, send it to the Bhutan Foundation. That's
Bhutan
what I've been to.
Northern India, isn't it?
No, it's not part of India. It's between India and Tibet. It's absolutely gorgeous, and they have a lot
Himalayas.
They're gross national happiness for humans, but we're looking for north happiness for animals. So my goal in life is to find money for the last thing I want to do is raise money for them, and that's why I'm going out. One of the reasons I'm being public and doing interviews and hikes and changing my persona.
And I really appreciate being able to talk to you. I think we're pretty much done with the questions, but there might be one or two that are important that I...
What are you doing?
Nothing. Just put it on my podcast. And
you have a podcast?
That's what
you're going to send me
the link, of course.
You're not going to ask any questions about the race and how awesome you are? The people put on the race? No, you don't do that. You're not a commercial.
No, I don't promote. I have friends, and I talk with my friends, but if they have businesses other than your dog charity in Bhutan, I mean, that sounds like something that people might want to help.
That's what I'm going to do with my rest of my life.
Yeah. I'm going to put your link on my blog and on my podcast. Well, it'll be on my blog.
It might be fun to follow you. I'm coming back here, but I'm going off to Vancouver.
I could show you some of the trails on Mount Dun, near where I live, and you could meet my cat.
But we're talking Victoria.
Yeah, well...
I'm only, probably have to see, I'm only staying...
Do you drive?
Well, I won't have a car when I'm here because I'm flying in. So I'm flying in on the 1st, and then it depends on my relatives. And our main purpose is to see Uncle Gordon and Uncle Ian because they're 90, and they might have some information.
Well, yeah, I was... Well, one of them looks as if she might have got injured, unless she does have a prosthetic leg. It could be a prosthetic leg. Yeah.
Get this, my cousins, because they told them you couldn't have crew out there. Yeah, they told me you couldn't have crew or pacers, and when they got there, they thought that. So they walked a whole lap because they got there early, and then they see me coming in with about 10 other people.
Yeah, well, I think the problem is that in the past they've had one or two rabbits that have come in and helped some guy get some sort of prize or notoriety, and they didn't want that. They want it to be an entry-level race and not have cherry pickers.
Why is it a national championship?
Because there are two. There's the National 100K Road and National 100K Trail, and Elk Lake is considered a trail. So a lot of people, they do that because it's flat as a pancake.
Oh.
So they go for a PR, they get noticed, but anybody who has run Elk Lake will say, well, do that in the mountains and then tell me how fast you are.
Exactly. Yeah. It was a nice loop. I had no problem with it. Except
but you can imagine living here and training there every week. You go nuts.
Oh, yeah, I can. I wasn't too bad. I mean, you had a little bit of the the road section.
Bear Hill Road.
Yeah,
just
it's a little
between.
noisy, but it wasn't bad. I thought it was.
Oh, that was
good.
the highway. Yeah, the highway is very noisy. But there's not really much real estate there. You've got the highway, you've got the lake, and they squeeze a trail right in the middle.
I think they did a marvelous job. Yeah. I'd have a little bit more food selection. I got kind of done with the...
You end up getting sick of candy, and then you can't eat candy all day.
No, I'd have, if I was them, I'd get a propane stove and have the quesadillas with real cheese.
Yeah, you could actually have a day-long barbecue going on there. But
and that would be better, and family would come.
Yeah.
That would be much
But we've done it, and we've both been race directors. We both know there's two ways. One is to cater for the elites. There might be 20 people at the most. Or cater for the middle of the pack.
I do the middle and the back.
And the back, yeah. I would promote the back and say, these guys are
getting their money worth.
They're getting their course value.
Like soup would have been nice.
But normally in May, the weather's like this, so we don't really cater for hot food.
I always had hot chicken. You know what then you do? You just put ice in it, and it's nice cold soup. People love cold soup.
Tomatoes,
See, my thing is what I do sometimes at night quite frequently. I get Progresso soup. Progresso soup, since Carl left?
Yep.
I just pop the top off. You don't even need a can opener. And you just get a spoon and you eat it right out of the can.
Well, that's pretty rugged.
No, that's how I eat. And then you just throw it in the trash can. And you might pop some popcorn if you're bored. And you just throw the can in there.
You need to hire me as a cook.
Yeah, well, anytime you're in Auburn.
When we hit the road, when we do this world tour, when we go and see all our Kenyan friends, we'll...
You come to Auburn. You don't even have my address. You want my address?
Oh, right. We've got lots of time.
Yeah, when are you going on your world tour?
Don't know.
They're late.
Well, since my mother died, every year I used to go to Spain for a whole month to visit her because, like you...
Would you want to ever do that Camino thing? Is it worth it?
What?
All my friends do that hike. I better not...
Oh, the Camino. No, I wouldn't.
I need to get my phone. You wouldn't? All my friends are doing it.
But I would want to run it, and the spacing of the hostels isn't convenient if you run it because you end up doing.
Because who would run it? Only 3. August 30th. Oh, here we are. August 30th this year in my hometown. I designed the course.
Good. Well, the coffee and the spinach wrap hit the spot. And
okay, well, anytime you're around, thanks very much. You'll send me a link. Yeah, I'll get my stuff. Well, it was Cherry. Yeah, we're off to a soccer game now. And then ferry.
Thank you for your time, Ann.
Oh, very much.
And I will give you all the relevant links.
That's good.
So we can keep in touch.
There's a link there if you look on Craig's in my Facebook about me running. I was running on lap 3 because I knew what I was doing.
Yeah, well done. I knew that you had a few tricks up your sleeve.
Now you're learning. Nice meeting.
I start learning all these secrets when I stop racing. Isn't that ironic?
Yeah, come through the overlook.
Bye-bye.